Alright, what's up guys? We have some 5v5 Cup Grand Final stuff. I was out and about for today, so I was thinking about maybe covering more of this tournament, but hey, I got back. Perfect timing. Grand Finals just started. And as well do that, because we've got Prime Icarus taking on Reason Gaming, and it's an interesting matchup, of course. So, yep, that's about where we're at right now. Is on the line right now is 5 Calamity alt avatars. Cassie Calamity, I believe, is the thingy, and some gold coins as well. I believe it's 2,000 for the winner and 1,600 for the second place team. Go ahead and check that really fast. And the winner, of course, also gets 5 copies of the Cassie Calamity alt avatar. So actually, first place is 8,000 gold coins and 5x Cassie Calamity. Second place is 4,000 gold coins. So pretty good amount of GC on the line here in this grand finals matchup, as well as the value of the alt avatars, which is 450 gold coins. So some solid potential to get a whole bunch of stuff. Sure can. Apparently he's drafting, and you look at PI's side, actually they are using 2 ringers in Dutch Ownage and Sacto. Dutch Ownage we just saw with another team, and I forget who it was, but in the gold division he was playing for somebody else, and I forget. Anyway, Reason Gaming using some ringers of their own, Starzors and FJ filling in here for Nier and Crisis is here, Zane is here, and Bray. There we go. Anyway, Legion side are missing, of course, Snaui and Slaskidret, so let's see how both sides fare, considering that they are using approximately 3/5 of their typical starting lineup. Not a huge surprise to see some ringers when you have a lesser tournament like this, no actual money on the line, and not really necessary for these teams to participate, but figured, hey, let's have a good time, play some good practice in, and let's talk about the draft for a while. I missed the initial bans, but I'm going to go ahead and assume Parasite was one of them. Yes. Revenant was banned at the second stage. Ophelia, an initial ban. So was Tempest. And Monarch, apparently, taken out of the pool very early. Second stage of bans were Revenant, Illuna, and Glacius for Teltook. Bubbles and Tempest and Legionnaire. So, no, sorry, Tempest was not an initial ban. Puppet Master? Yeah, Puppet Master was an initial ban for I would guess PI, considering Imboboy likes to play Puppet Master a lot. So you look at that, you see Legion focusing more on the supports, Hellborn focusing more on the jungle options, as well as the Suicide Bubbles, and we've got Legion side draft finished up, Kinesis, Swiftblade Rally, Magmus, and Voodoo Jester. So some interesting stuff going on there, particularly the Voodoo Jester pick, but I think Reason wins the holy crap draft, as they're picking Deadwood. Deadwood, a hero we have not seen in On Tour Season 3. And widely derided as very, very terrible, figuring that he just does not bring enough to the table right now to be useful. And I guess Reason trying to see what they can get out of him. And Andromeda is going to be our last pick. Another hero we don't see too much of. Valkyrie, similar thing. Electrician, not picked up very often. So Reason Gaming going with a very non-traditional draft. Empath, the only one that we consistently see in the competitive scene right now. And let me swap to Starzors there. Andromeda being played by FJ, actually, who's typically a carry player for, or at least he was, for Izu. And apparently in this instance is going to be playing the second support role. As far as lanes go, wouldn't be surprised to see a tri-lane coming out from this Hellborn team, especially with the Valkyrie, as they would have 2 strong laners in Deadwood and Electrician, as well as a nice 2-stun, maybe even 3-stun lineup with the Valkyrie, Andro, and Empath. So that is my current expectation. That we'll see a aggressive tri-lane here from the Hellborn team. Legion side, perhaps looking more at a double dual lane setup. We currently actually have Ceratops playing Swiftblade, Shorecamp playing Rally. So that's going to be a second support Rally. So they could be going for a tri-lane of their own, actually. And that wouldn't be surprising at all, considering that Rally, when played as a support hero, I feel like he tends to be in tri-lanes more often. We really haven't seen too much of that. Insania did it once, I believe, and actually played as a primary support with the jungler for Sync, but I don't know, lots of stuff possible. Swiftblade tri-lane obviously very powerful, and they may not want to go up against the tri-lane with a dual lane of their own, figuring If you guys are going to run dual supports, or sorry, dual solos, we can run dual solos too and get away with it because they do have some pretty strong laners in Kinesis, Swiftblade, and Magnus as their 3 cores. And Jester in a tri-lane actually quite powerful as well, as the cask will have more targets to bounce to, potentially can get longer stun durations on actual cores. So we'll see how this shapes up, but at this point, Certas is playing the Swiftblade, so I seriously doubt that's going to be a suicide. He's sort of played the suicide in previous games. They tend to try to put him in a situation where it's not really a suicide because he's in a 1 versus 1, or he's in a 2 versus 2 or something like that, so it ends up being acceptable in that sense, that he won't really get shut down as he's not really playing a suicide Swiftblade. But in this game, it looks like they are going to be running the safe lane tri-lane on the Legion team, and Hellborn actually going to go for the suicide Electrician up against this tri-lane and a safe lane tri-lane of their own. Kinesis, not a hero that fares very well against aggressive against tri-lanes. Against a dual lane, he's fine because he can harass out the opposing support with his burst damage or his consistent harass damage from lifting creeps and trees and such. But against a tri-lane, there's a little bit too much lockdown and damage potential coming out from these 2 heroes. And shit, what's up, guys? We have some. Sorry about that. Forgot to mute my Twitch stream in the background once again. So it looks like there will be a transition here as Kinesis trying to get himself some lane control here and take some mana pot, heading back to the middle, and you might see a pretty significant switch up. Shorthand not really sure where he wants to go in terms of the lanes, and looks like he's going to perhaps try to gank middle. He actually may just be playing a true roaming rally. Going to be putting some auto attack harass in onto this Deadwood and allow Magnus to get some free CS in this middle lane, which is going to be crucial. And in a melee versus melee matchup like this, especially Magnus versus Deadwood, I would expect Magnus to have a very good time. The log from Deadwood, of course, makes it much easier for him to last hit, but the volcanic touch coming out from Magnus against an opposing melee hero typically means a pretty good amount of harass damage comes through, and Deadwood might have some issues laning in that situation. He's currently only got 3 tangos as well, so not exactly sitting on a crap ton of regen at this point. And it looks like the Hellborn side are going to break up their tri-lane as well, sending Empath to the middle lane and keeping Andro top to stack and pull, and maintain lane control here for Imbuboy on this Valkyrie. Bottom lane, Voodoo Jester has maintained his position down here, so figuring let's do what we can to harass out Zane on this Electrician, and things are actually going pretty well off the bat in that respect, as he's only got 91 gold per minute, and both supports on the Hellborn side only at 69 GPM too. But look at the Legion side, 3 heroes actually without a single creep kill, and includes the Jester and Shortcan on the supports, as well as the Suicide Kinesis, so things in general not going particularly well for PI right off the bat. They also have a pretty substantial experience deficit for this stage in the game, and that was largely because Kinesis was unable to lane top against the tri-lane, and now that has removed itself. Looks like he will get some lane control, get some CS, and get some experience, and that should start to cut into the lead that Reason has at this point. Shortcan headed back to the bottom lane. He's perhaps looking to reform this tri-lane, as the Hellborn have sent Empath bot. Might as well help out the Electrician. So, Certas at 270 gold per minute right now, and that seems pretty low considering Jester's basically sacrificed doing anything else to box out Zane on this Electrician, and he's really not getting very much. So I don't know why he's failed to hit stuff, but Shortcan with the compel forward, and that's not going to turn into anything, as the Hellborn side smartly don't want to try to return damage, but the Legion team a little bit too far away for them to actually do anything. And then we'll find a word of sight here as well. So, nice D word from Shortcan. And they're looking for something on this Electrician. Voodoo Jester will drop the cask. He has Maledict as well. There it goes. See if there's enough damage here to kill Electrician, and yeah, there definitely is at this point. Wow. Sacto on the Voodoo Jester, getting a pretty easy kill. And the triple stun right there, or the double stun, really. Plus the Maledict and the Swiftblade spin, just doing way too much damage for Zane to survive the burst, as he doesn't even get close to getting away. So it looks like the Legion side are perfectly content to maintain this tri-lane in the bot, as Kinesis is getting literally nothing in this top lane. He still has 0 CS, but at the very least, he's getting some levels now. He's level 2, and Imbuboy level 5, so Not really looking great for him up crap. Middle lane, actually. Dutch ownage on that Magnus getting taken out. Not even level 6 on Deadwood yet, but the Andromeda gank successful. Well played there from FJ and TPS Priceless, who's actually playing the mid hero here, which is pretty funny. Starzor is pretty well known as a support player, but that jump onto Zane is not going to be successful. Now they're going to chase down Shortcan on this rally. Maledict, did that hit him? No, it didn't, I don't think. It did. They just didn't actually do any damage. But a bit of a tower dive there and a nice empath wall preventing any further regression onto Zane. Keeps him alive. And here we go with the tri-lane in the bot, with Electrician as the focus as opposed to Valkyrie. So they sort of ended up with the lanes I kind of expected, but it took them about 5 minutes to get there, and obviously the core in this aggressive tri-lane from Hellborn team is Zane as opposed to Imbaboy. I still would prefer to see Valkyrie down here, but at this point, transitioning him not really going to make all that much sense. Once again in the middle lane, Dutch ownage dying to a double damage Deadwood, who actually did hit an ultimate this time, so that's not a huge surprise, but this Magnus having some issues in the middle lane. Bottom, actually, I'm missing stuff all over the place as Sacto on the Voodoo Jester dies, and Zane gonna get chased. We got this grip onto Swiftblade. He's gonna be able to get away. Essence Link stun is there, but he's brought just enough health on that Swiftblade to be able to skirt out. And Reason Gaming taking a pretty significant early lead at this point. 1,800 gold, 2,700 experience. And considering this is not a jungle versus dual support lineup, that's reasonably impressive. It's not like they do have a jungler that's allowing them to be a little bit more efficient in terms of creep farm and therefore experience. They're just kind of wrecking these lanes, and Teltook in particular in this top lane is just having an awful time of things. He's also going to lose lane control here, and he just has no capacity to lane against Imbaboy at this point whatsoever, even though it's a 1v1 situation, which Kinesis is typically fantastic at. He's not great. Oh. Did I not export the image? I didn't export that. Alright, sorry. I just didn't even change the names. Sorry about that, guys. And I'm missing kills as well. That's always good. There we go. Sorry. And, yep, everything's dying. Anyway, bottom lane, Sacto gets a double tap, so that's going to be very, very good for PI. Well done. Not sure how that happened because I was busy updating overlays, because clearly I planned this very well, but, oh well. Middle lane Deadwood has an Invis rune, and Dutch Ownage just like, not super happy about this. Gets punched in the face. Well, not too much you can do about that. Reason still pretty substantially up. Swiftblade in the bottom lane having a solid time, 320 gold per minute, but really nobody else on this Legion team is getting much of anything. Actually, the second support Voodoo Jester is, or even a primary support Voodoo Jester, is the second highest farmer on Prime Icarus, and that's very bad. So, I'm a little bit concerned about this PI team and their ability to transition into the mid game, especially considering Deadwood can snowball, and he is definitely doing that, 390 gold per minute, as well as the Valkyrie carry is going to be substantially annoying. Is getting a crap ton of farm in the top lane, crossing the 400 GPM mark now. FJ dropping a deep ward of sight here behind the tower. Beldrot is therefore not going to be seen from Magnus, and we'll see if they can actually get a jump onto this Valkyrie. It's going to have to be pretty well coordinated. Of course, she has the leap as well as the Valkyrie's Prism, so it's going to have to be some excellently timed initiation and follow-up in order to get this actually successfully off. Well, middle lane, Shortcan's dead. I'm not even paying attention to that. It's fine. I think an initiate. Empath is here. Go for the stun, Magnus. There's the initiation. Eruption goes down, and they're going to charge right, but then actually the Lava Surge misses as Empath going to get the kill onto Teltook. That's real bad, and now Valkyrie going to drop her Prism. She will be Invis. Relation goes out there, actually, and Imbaboy apparently sees it, but he's caught in a bit of a rock and a hard place here. He's got 6 selections left on the Invis, and they're going to get stunned out right on top of the ward. A couple more attacks will finish him off, but does he have enough ability to get away? He's got the Ghost Marchers, and he might be out of there. So Imbaboy timing that very, very well, and survives, but just barely. Andromeda and Magnus going to run into each other. They're at the same level. That's not great. Common Stun comes through. Arrow not going to connect. Andromeda, I think, is still going to be okay. No, the Compel is there. And Andro eventually going to be picked off. Last auto attack going to Dutch Ownage, but here comes Deadwood. Going to miss the Rotten Grasp. Will still punch Magnus in the face. It's like, run away from this, bitch. Yeah. Hand of Money on Andro. Okay. Obviously, with this patch, the Alchemist Bones did get a change. You get additional experience from killing creeps now with the Midas, so interesting. And I wonder if we're going to see more of this. It is a pretty popular thing in Dota to see a support pick up a item like that, as of course it does prevent them from getting so far behind on levels, and it increases their farm pretty substantially as well. It's a pretty significant investment, 1900 gold as is required in order to grab it, but second Sparta Andromeda, feeling like maybe she can do some more if she has a little bit extra funds, and wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. She doesn't even have boots yet, but she's had a solid impact here, 1, 1, and 4, and definitely not bad. Should see that continue to rise, as well as her impact as that item starts to pay off and pay for itself. Invis Magnus looking at a empath gank. And they really need to pick somebody off up in this top lane. It is a 3 versus 3 at this point, but they're going to jump on top of empath. There's the cask. Valkyrie Prism going down, and that's definitely going to be a kill as the burst damage is well there. Arrow goes right in the face of Kinesis. He eats that in favor of Magnus. He's going to pay for it. Magnus with the bottle charges, looking for the lava surge away. Gets it. Still pretty damn short range. I'm not sure if that was as long as it could have been, but I don't think they're going to want to tower out of this, as Zane coming in looking for the grip, but a little bit late. Could not get the range. Meanwhile, middle lane, Shortcan and Deadwood sort of eyeballing each other. Deadwood's level 10, Shortcan's level 5, so Shortcan probably not super interested in really taking this engagement, and now he could be in some trouble. Nope, Deadwood not going for the dive. As obviously Rally has the compel away. If something happens, Rotten Grasp not going to connect, as they were just basically going for the Hail Mary pass. They don't have any vision up this cliff. Kind of hoping that things would work out, and they did not. So, Voodoo Jester here, looking perhaps to set something up. Neither Shortcan nor Sakto on these two support heroes are level 6. And there's the Rotten Grasp in. Is that going to be enough time? Cask is there to stop it, and they might actually turn this onto the Deadwood. I don't know if they'll have enough damage to actually kill him, but it's very possible at this point. They got the Maledict out and a pretty good amount of damage right off the bat, but Deadwood going to port back to base, and I think at this point he should be... Nope, he's not. Just a bit late getting there. If he had managed to heal back enough, he might have survived, but the fact that the tick came in just when he got to base meant that he didn't have enough time to get that life pool up, and nice kill. Nice response there. Voodoo Jester being at the right place at the right time. And then top lane, they want to set something up onto the Valkyrie once again. Magma's going to break the Veil, and that's going to result in a leap away from Valkyrie. So not quite the distance that they needed to keep him in mushroomed form. Meanwhile, speaking of Valkyrie, she has gone for the Thunderclaw here, so it's all a farming item, of course. And Valkyrie should definitely enjoy. Might have gone for a Nullstone over the Thunderclaw first item for her, although I think maybe she can still get it. Thunderclaw, of course, will increase her farm, so it's not like it's that big a deal. They have enough targeted spells in the Legion team that I think Null is going to be very helpful for her, especially Kinesis, Swiftblade, Voodoo Jester. The lockdown and damage that can come out from those heroes that can then be stopped with a Nullstone, which is, of course, just a generally solid item in terms of the amount of life it gives you and various other things. Compel away from Rally, as he's going to get swapped back in and destroyed. Shortcan, no way he's getting out of that. We got a 4-man gank squad coming up here from the Hellborn team. Andromeda looks like she's going to be the first target. Valkyrie Prism going off. That's not going to save the Andro. Lob Surge is not connecting to anything. Arrow dodged in the background by that's Voodoo Jester. Grip comes through in the middle lane. There's the Voodoo Jester ultimate, though. Ceratops finally gets taken out. Eruption really not doing all that much damage. This Prism is really wreaking some havoc. They do have a Rev Ward up in the middle lane. Cass going to start bouncing to a various number of heroes, but that's going to be it. And looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade in favor of the Hellborn team as they take out the opposing team's carry and lose just their second support, Andromeda. So things still coming up reason at this point. By no means are they insurmountably ahead, but definitely looking pretty solid in terms of their overall position in the game. Resource lead definitely in their favor, and as things go forward, it wouldn't be surprising to see Imboy out-carry Ceratoss on this Swiftblade, especially if Valkyrie continues to farm as well as this, and hopefully even better as the Thunderclaw starts to pay for itself. Arrow, Magnus has a haste rune. I don't know if Andro spotted him, and I think Deadwood did right there, but they're going to need some good stuns to deal with this, and it doesn't look like they have them, so Magnus looking for an initiation, doesn't find it. Probably a good thing. I don't think he had the damage to kill anybody, even if he did spot somebody out, unless they were particularly low from taking some creep camps. But obviously it'll be on Reason Gaming. The smart spread. And sufficient life to survive Magnus in any case. Ancients here already tripled, so they can't stack them anymore. It looks like Zane is going to be the one to take them out. Zane currently sitting at 220 gold per minute, so wouldn't be upset, I think, if he managed to get a little bit more farm, and his opposing Suicide doing even worse. Tell took at just 135 GPM. Having some pretty serious issues getting money in this case, has Steam Boots, and that's about it. Mana Battery really not sufficient. Anything else? They will drop a Word of Sight there from Andromeda. The cask hits, and there's Shuriken actually compelling Swiftblade. Andro not going to survive that as FJ dies. Top lane though, Dutch Ownage getting killed once again. Nemesis. And yep, there's the Nemesis. As Priceless is just like, you are my bitch. You are my bitch. What's that cup? Bottom lane looks like Zane could be in some trouble. Cass gonna bounce around, and sorry about that. We are gonna see them back off here. So apparently I have to answer this telephone call. But give me a second to mute myself. I'll still watch though.
Ultimate warrior.
The juice is indeed was my name. Menage a trois.
Ursa has gone kinetic.
Alright, and that of course ends just as the team fight ends just as I come back to unmute myself, but anyway, Reason Gaming winning a pretty significant fight right there, as actually Envoy gets a hat trick, and he's now at 460 GPM, so things starting to look a little bit problematic here for Prime Icarus, and I would not be surprised to see something like a Concede Vote come out relatively soon. They are down 8k gold now, 12k experience. They're going to lose a tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, and Imboboy's starting to get a little bit out of control here, 500 GPM, and Ceratoss just does not have the farm to keep up with him. And top lane, they get their kill on Teltook, because hey, why not? Kinesis doesn't really seem like it's his hero. And yeah, they're calling GG's here. So.
A valiant effort, warriors.
For once, I can't actually predict stuff because it's not a replay cast, but yeah, that didn't look super great. So, game 1, going to Reason in a pretty easy 17-minute victory, and I think Prime Icarus not super happy with how things went in that game. Either way, they're going to have a chance to bring it back, as this is best of 3. And we've got a pretty good amount of gold coins, 8,000 for first place, plus the 5x Cassie Calamity Alt Avatars, 4,000 for second place. And either way, somebody's going to walk away with a pretty decent prize pool, but at this point, looks like Reason are in pole position to take the grand finals of this 5v5 Cup. We'll be right back in a minute or two, hopefully, with Game 2 of this grand final series. And so stick around, that'll be coming up soon.